Hi and welcome back to BTEC Construction. Today we're going to be talking about sustainability. That is the way that we can sustain the materials that we have in the ground and we can use them for a future date. Sustainability is always about trying to reuse a certain item. We know that slate is quarried from a mine deep in the ground. We know that bricks are made from raw materials and they often are not reused. They are broken down into aggregates and used on the flooring for driveways. But what ways could we become sustainable? Well, first of all, we could think about the choice of materials. When you have a look at the brickwork that's just behind me, what you'll find is the bricks that are behind me are very sustainable because they have all been reused. They originally came from a different building and one by one they were cleaned up and they were reused again to be able to make an absolute beautiful brick wall. When we make a building, there is something called the embodied energy. The embodied energy is the energy it takes to make a building from the beginning to the end. So as you look behind, you'll see a building that's got red bricks and it's got the roof structure and it's got slate on the roof. The embodied energy is the energy it takes to be able to get the raw source of the materials from out of the ground, brought all the way back to the building and then constructed till the building is actually standing. One thing I mentioned at the start of the video is something to do with the green belt. The green belt, as you can see from behind me, is all about building on a green environment. Believe it or not, the area that you can see there looks absolutely beautiful, but in 5 years' time, that whole field and everywhere that you can see will be covered in buildings. Now there's an advantage for those people that are buying the buildings there. They'll get large plots of land, it'll look very beautiful and very scenic. But as you can see, all these fields around you will not exist anymore. Your children's children will not get to see this land. All the animals that live around here will all have to be either rehoused or the whole land will just be concreted over. That means that when there are heavy storms and there's wind and rain, that there is nowhere for the rain to go. You see, the rain at the moment soaks into the ground and it's taken away from the property. But if it rains and it pours down, there is nowhere for the rain to go. It is simply gonna stay where the people are. And that will cause local flooding in local areas because the land has got no drainage anymore. Now, we saw from a couple of videos ago that drainage can happen in different ways. If you want to drain water away from a construction site, there is a temporary way to drain water and there's a permanent way. A temporary way is where we are looking at using a water pump, just like what the fire engines have got to drain water from houses if there's floods. A water pump can be used on a building site to drain that. But on a permanent basis, you actually have to build full drains inside there. Now then, we've mentioned about greenbelt. We've mentioned that greenbelt is literally, it's green. It is somewhere where you can build on a property and it will be beautiful where you are. But it does come at a cost. It comes at the cost of the habitation. It comes at the cost of the plot of land. It also quite often can come as a cost for where you have to get utilities, where you've got to get electric and gas and water carried all the way up from the bottom of the lane all the way up here, and that can be thousands upon thousands upon thousands of pounds. Building on a green belt does have its advantages. You can build the house wherever you want the house to be. There is no plot of land there. There is nothing determining the shape and the property that you would want to make. But not only would you want to build on a green belt, sometimes you might want to consider building on a brown belt. See, a brown belt is completely different. A brown belt is an area that has already been pre-built on. It's already got some existing properties. There might be some utilities there, which is water, gas and electric. There might also be some drainage systems that are already in place. But the disadvantage of a brownfield site is that because it's already been built on before, you'll notice that it is very stony. And it is very, 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 very looking rather, well, brown. It's looking rather scruffy. And the brown belt is there and it exists because something has been pre-built on it. And because something's been pre-built on it, that means sometimes you might have some wastage. You might have an old building that you have to demolish and that you use that building for the aggregate, which is the flooring, so part of the driveway, as you can see from there. The disadvantage of a brownfield site is that there could be a whole lot of wastage. there might be some chemical wastage, there might be some other parts of the property that you've got to dispose of. The other disadvantage is that you've got to remove all the old foundations before you can put a new one in its place. You see, sustainability is so important to the environment. If we don't look after the materials today, that means in future generations, you've got nothing to build with. You're going to run out of raw sources of materials. Okay, this is BTEC Construction, this is sustainability, and this is Mr. Cox in the middle of nowhere trying to show you what greenfield and brownfields look like.